Welcome to my podcast, Today's Dream, Tomorrow's Reality. My name is Vicki Poole. I'm a master transformational coach and hypnotist specializing in habit change. And this podcast is sponsored by the Enlightened Peach. And it's all about embracing our mosaic life. And some of you may ask, what is a mosaic life anyway? Well, it is recognizing that all the pieces of our life, the good, the bad, the indifferent, have all come together to make us who we are. Change any one thing and we are different. With that in mind, I invite you to embrace your perceived imperfections and celebrate who you are. This podcast is unedited and raw, just like life. I am your host, and I have a special guest that I will introduce in just a moment. But before I do, I would love to ask you to do me a solid, and that is leave a comment, ask a question, and above all, remember to like, subscribe, and share. So now let's get started. So this gentleman here is Neil. And how do you say your last name, Neil?
Baboolal.
Okay. Just like it looks.
Yes, just like it looks.
I know. I've had a few snafus where I said it things the way they looked, and it was like, nope, not a good idea. So I had to ask. But
No problem.
Neil and I know each other because we were both part of a group on Facebook with Stacy Lauren. And she is actually my mentor. I just got back from seeing her TED Talk in San Diego. So it was amazing. And Neil is an entrepreneur, which entrepreneurs are my heart. And he has an e-commerce product. So I really want to dive into a little bit about your background, Neil. What kind of got you on this entrepreneur journey, and how you came up with whatever the product is. I want to hear all about it. So the floor is yours.
Okay. Well, it's a pleasure to be a guest on your podcast this evening, Vicki. My name is Neil Baboolal. I reside in Trinidad. That's in the Caribbean. I'm married to my wonderful wife, Sunita. I'm the last of 4 siblings, and I have 2 dogs, and I'm an entrepreneur. I have owned and operated a retail outlet for the past 25 years. I still do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I recently launched an e-commerce brand on Amazon. It's a pet brand, and the brand name is Jackie and Joe.
Okay.
Yes.
So tell me about how did you end up going from, because you're doing a pet brand now. So how did you pivot to doing a pet brand? What was the thought process that said, this is what I want to do?
Well, I have spent all my life. I grew up in business. My both parents had business. My father had his own business for over 40 years, and my mom had a business for over 25 years. So as being the last of 4 siblings, I grew up in business. I fell in love with it. And yes, I did. I had my degree in business administration, but choose not to work for no one, but to stay in business. So for the love of business, and an individual who is a continuous learner. I'm always reading. I'm always looking to learn something new, especially learn something new each day. And I'm always looking for that moment. So I will always tell my wife, what could we do better? Because I like challenges. I like new ventures. So upon brainstorming many ideas, and after COVID, she left her job as a travel consultant. And she ended up in the business with me. So, most time we will continue discussing new ideas. And upon discussing these ideas, I came up with the idea of getting into e-commerce because we both love to travel. So, after spending all these years in the retail space, which is very time consuming, knowing that if we could leap towards e-commerce, and do something that is special from our heart, it will be that we will get time and we will get freedom, so we could travel and still do what we love.
Right, because when you've got a brick and mortar place, you're stuck. You got to be there.
You gotta be there. You gotta be there. Because I'm up like 5 a.m. every morning, and I'm in bed like sometimes I close at 8 or even 9 p.m. So it's a long day.
Yeah.
So upon brainstorming ideas, we came across that we will launch a brand on Amazon, not knowing what the product will be or what the brand will be, but we continued and we had many ideas at first. It was never a pet idea up front, but my wife, coming from a background of being a dog lover, and I grew up with dogs myself. We always had dogs in our family. I eventually we toyed with some ideas and we eventually came up with the pet sector. So upon researching and continue brainstorming, we stuck with pet. But we had to go a little further because after we decided that we're going to go in the pet industry, we have to decide for a brand name. So it took us a couple of days, and then I was thinking, I told my wife, I grew up with two wonderful German shepherds as a child with my parents and my siblings, and their names happened to be Jackie and Joe, and this is where the brand name came. And the brand name is Jackie and Joe. So it's a real story.
Mhm.
And you know, like you and Stacy and all of us on with Stacy, being real is what I like. I'm not here just to make money or I love business. I love serving communities. I love serving audiences. I love serving people, customers.
Mhm.
So with the brand Jackie and Joe now, we know it's a real story. It comes from the heart. It's emotional, and we could sell it because it's real. So that is where the brand name came from, Jackie and Joe. And we are
Okay.
passionate in what we do and how
Right.
we move forward in the future.
Yeah. So it's
So this, yeah,
Chucky. Did you say Chucky?
Jackie
Jackie.
and Joe. That's the brand.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
So tell me about those two dogs then, since they're
Well,
the famous ones.
yes, they are. We grew up with dogs before, but I was about 7 or 8, and my dad brought in, for security purpose, he brought in one German Shepherd, and you know, in the initial stages, they had them in a little box. So as a child, 6, 7-year-old, we would play with them. So we all enjoyed it. Well, I fell in love with her, Jackie, and then about 6 or 9 months later, he got another German Shepherd. So his name was Joe. So you know, as a child, and German Shepherds are very friendly dogs. They are
Mhm.
very playful and friendly, especially with kids. So he trusted them with our son. We had fun with them. So growing up, they stayed with us for about 12, 15 years each, you know. So it was like from about 6 to 7 to about 18. So my whole teenage years spent, you know, childhood into teenage. So they left that love in my heart, that stamp of how loving and kind dogs are. You know, in every aspect. When we go to the supermarket with our parents, we'll all buy some toy, some, you know, pet food, whatever. We always pamper them with the best. So
Mhm.
that's that love there. You know, growing up with your parents and everybody enjoying these two loving dogs. We had dog and we had other dogs after, but you know, these two were special, very special.
Yeah. Well, I feel you. I had my dog, my companion, he passed away a couple of years ago. And
Yes,
he was like, all of a sudden, I can't remember. He was like 14, something like
yeah,
that.
yes,
But it was like, once he was gone, it was like everything was so empty. And it's like, and
yes,
he was the
yes.
most loving, sweetest dog. And so I still haven't gotten another dog since then because it feels like, I'm just not ready. I have
Ready.
fostered one, but I
Mm-hmm.
haven't gotten another dog. And it's like when they get your heartstrings, it's hard to
Yes,
move
yes,
on.
yes.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
you don't want to really replace them.
No, no, I don't think you can. It's kind
You
of like
can't.
I had a client one time that her husband passed away and she got remarried. And all she did all the time was compare this new guy to her husband that had passed away, and I thought, bless
Yeah.
that man's heart. there's no way he'll ever measure up. And I kind of feel like that with the dog too.
Yes,
If I got
yes,
another
yes,
one, it just
yes,
wouldn't measure up. I'd have to get a different breed. I'd have to do something,
yes,
so
yes,
it wouldn't be a comparison there.
yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
They're amazing.
yeah. So what is the product that you have for dogs?
My first product is a pet travel mat that
Okay.
is lightweight, very fashionable for dog moms, dog lovers, and it's comfortable, it's durable. It's made of a premium material because we really did our research. We wanted to do justice to our brand, our dog names, and to customers, because
Right.
at the
Right.
end, the customers is the one that will have the final say. They,
Yeah.
they could review your products, they could, say bad things. So, so that was a very important. And in studying some of the reviews about these existing products that are already on Amazon or even in store, it was missing the shoulder straps. So let's just say, for example, you're going camping or hiking, or you're traveling on the train, or even via airplane. You it is lightweight. It may look a little bulky, but it's large. So I wanted something new on the market, so I added the shoulder straps to it, so you could carry it on your shoulders.
Oh,
So
okay.
it take up no space in your hand carry, your luggage, or your hand. You
Yeah.
might have other stuff,
So
because
is it
especially
like
if you
rolled up?
it's all
Yeah.
rolled up.
Okay.
It's all rolled up. One is Velcro and one is with the buckles. So we everybody have their own choices. One is blue color and one is pink. So
Okay.
maybe Jackie and Joe. So one is male, one is female. If we look at colors like that,
That's
like
right. That's right.
not
It depends
everybody
on who
looks
you
at.
are, right?
It depends on who you are. So
Yeah. Because,
we give people choices.
technically, when years and years ago, I don't remember when, but it
Mhm.
used to be that the blue was supposed to be for a girl and the pink was for a boy. And then it changed over the years.
Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Hmm.
I know.
because,
Interesting.
I personally am I love colors, so I will wear any color.
Yeah.
So but
Yeah. Me too.
yeah, my nieces and them call me crazy, but that's just who I am.
Hey, that's all right. Crazy's
Yes,
good.
I see life as I see life in colors.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's different and everybody is
Yes, I
who they
like your
are.
glasses too for those that are
Yes,
listening and
yes, oh
not
yes,
watching. It's got some bright red glasses. Are they
yes,
red in person or because they look
yes.
red here? Okay.
Yeah, they are red because recently I got them about 6 months now. So I said, let me go bold. That's who I am. I was a little more mellow back with the last one, and I needed to change it. So I said, let
Yeah.
me go bold this time.
Yeah. I love it.
Yes, I like newness and changes. I don't
Yeah.
like to look.
So have
Yeah,
you
yeah.
always been that way? Where you've
I'm
always
always
liked newness and changes?
yes, I see life. I see life as something evolving, and I'm always learning, and I could always be corrected. I will not, I'm not perfect, and no one is. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know everything. You don't know everything. So we got to build relationships. Just like in business and in life, we need really, you need me, I need you, and we need each other.
Right.
So that's how I see life,
Yeah.
colorful, and, we're
Yeah.
all different, but we're all the same.
Yeah. And it's interesting because a lot of the clients that I work with, they want to be bold. They want to be standing out a little bit and taking risk and doing those things, but they have limiting beliefs and things that just kind of hold them back some. So kudos to you because you're just standing out on your own and creating you and your wife. And that's very
Yes, yes,
commendable.
yes,
You know,
yes.
aren't entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart.
Hell no.
Yeah,
Hell
yeah.
no. It's not, it's not, it's not. It's a roller coaster. It's Walt
Yeah,
Disneyland. Yeah.
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 And
Yeah.
I watched this morning, I saw a video and the ladies did such an eloquent example of entrepreneurship. And so she had this jar and like a big mason jar, and she put some ice cubes in it. And she said that those ice cubes represented all the beliefs that we had from, the things that have happened in our childhood and all those limiting beliefs that we believe that are not necessarily true. And she said that most people let those beliefs just keep them from making any move. But she said, so you want to create a better foundation. So she takes this water jug and she pours water in. So the water starts filling up the bottom and bringing the ice cubes up. And then as the ice cubes got to the middle, she said, this is when people start getting a little bit of progress in what they're doing, but it's not easy because they still got all these limiting beliefs, that are stuck there. And so I forgot the percentage. She said percentages of how many people give up at that stage. And then other people still pour in more knowledge and more, connecting with groups and doing all the things, learning. They pour
Yes.
more water in and the ice cubes come up. And so she gave several different scenarios to where at one point it was like at the top, the ice cubes were at the top. And she said, believe it or not, there's still a huge amount of people that give up right there
Yes. Yes.
because
Yes.
they get a little comfortable and then they're ready to just, I want it easy and they just let
Yes.
it go. But she
Yes.
poured
Yes.
more water in and all of those ice cubes, all those limiting beliefs left. And then she was talking about that's the 1% of people that really go all in entrepreneurship or anything that they're wanting to do in life. And I loved that because, that's one of the things that I help my clients with is those limiting beliefs. But there are so many times as an entrepreneur or anything like that, people will tend to hit against something that is not easy. And then they say, well, this must not be for me. So I know you've got a pretty positive mindset there, but is there anything or any time that you've been against something like that? So like maybe things were not in your brick and mortar or whatever that, maybe you had a whole bunch of employees that left and suddenly you've got all this to do. And so is there something that's come up for you that has been that thing that if you weren't strong in what you wanted to do and you didn't have a big enough why, you would have walked away? And if that's the case, then what did you do to get on the other side of that?
Well, going back a little bit, my dad was a professional gambler. I
Hmm.
also played poker for some time with him.
Mm-hmm.
So why I said that, I'm a person, I'm all in, all chips in. I'm in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
When it comes to business and entrepreneurship, I bet on myself.
Okay.
I bet on myself. And one of my personal words of wisdom is I'm never gonna give up. I am going, this is not a sprint, it's a marathon for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because my experience in brick and mortar is that the economy is good, the economy, business has its own cycle and all.
Yeah.
Business, it
Just
have
like
its
the
good
weather,
time
right?
periods. It's like everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing is on a straight line. So that is where I get my inspiration from. Other than that, with a little background of gamble, most of us just want to get this get rich quick scheme, like just win the lottery. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
like that. You gotta grind, you gotta toil, you gotta feel a pain to really enjoy the games. You gotta work hard, whether being an entrepreneur or whatever you do, or whatever you enjoy doing, but you gotta love what you're doing. And I love what I do. There's
Yeah.
rough times, there's difficult times financially, physically, mentally, difficult situation, difficult customers. But yeah, but I certainly stay the course.
Yeah.
Yes, I will, there will be obstacles. I have faced many challenges and obstacles, even to get on course with selling on Amazon. It was a little bit tricky, but I had to get through.
Mm-hmm.
It had to be the ice on the cup you were speaking about.
Yeah.
I've got to be there, So
Yeah.
I give it all, and I do a lot. I'm not a I use other little systems personally. Like every day I must exercise. I'm no gym freak. I don't go to the gym. I have my own small equipment, but I have to put in my steps and my physical activities. I do a little yoga now and again, and I eat healthy. I certainly do not eat fast food. I eat home cooked food. So so I think all of these factors all adds in. It's a puzzle, and you need all these little pieces put together. So I think that's how I do it personally. Everybody will have their own journey, own story, but that is how I said about it. And as I said, I'm not giving up. I'm
Yeah.
staying the course. Yes.
Beautiful. I love that.
Yes.
Well, you
Yes.
know, it's a thing that comes up with a lot of people is they start doing something not necessarily because they're passionate about it, but they start doing something because somebody's told them that's where you can make some money.
That's
And I think that's when it's so much easier to give up on your journey because you didn't come in with this passion about or this drive to, solve somebody's problem. And like you're solving somebody's problem with this travel pet mat that actually goes in, rolls up, and you can put it on your back so that you can carry it and you're not having to walk around with something under your arm. And so I can't wait to look at them and see what they look like. I don't have a dog anymore, but I
yes.
definitely want to look, and I do know people that have dogs, so I will be sharing it out. So
Okay, thank
I'm
you.
really
That would be nice.
intrigued. So is it the pet mat, is it like would go in their crate if they were a crated dog, or is it only for travel like in the car to protect the seat?
It could protect the seat.
Okay.
It could travel. You could go to the restaurant with it. You could go to a hotel room. You could put it in the crate too.
Okay.
It's very versatile.
Okay.
Yes, so it's multifunctional, that you could use it wherever your likeness are. Because even I have a couple. Most of my reviews is 5 stars,
Okay.
and I had a couple who had two dogs that destroys a lot, and their review was amazing. That they have it for about 15 to 18 days now, and it's tough. So it's very durable. Well,
Okay. Yeah, because
yes.
one of the dogs that I had would chew up any bed that you put in there with them.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yes. So yes, there are some that does that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had one who actually, you couldn't leave your slippers or your shoes. Not, yeah, they will destroy everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
do you have another product that's about to come out, or is this all you're going to be having for a little bit?
I think I want to stay with this product, and
Okay.
get it to like to the amount of sales per unit per day, and then add the next product.
Yeah. So that
Yeah.
comes from your business background,
Yes.
because a lot of us entrepreneurs that are not business background people, I mean, I've been an entrepreneur for over 30 years,
Yeah.
but I don't think of things in the same way as a business person does.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
so a lot of the times it's like shiny object syndrome, that one's really cool, but whoop, look, there's
Yeah.
another one over here. I can
Yeah.
add that
Yeah.
to it. So
Yes. Yes. Yes.
that's really a testament that, we need to kind of reel ourselves back in a little bit sometimes and
Yes.
stick with
Yes.
one thing until we
One
got
thing.
it
Yes.
got
Yes.
it
Yes.
mastered and we've got it
Mastered.
really going, and then we
Going.
add to it. It's kind of like that magnifying thing about, if you're out in the sun and you've got a piece of paper laying on the pavement and the sun's shining on it, it doesn't do anything. But if you get the magnifying glass and magnify that sun, it'll burn the
Yes.
paper,
Burn the.
right?
Yes.
And so it's
Yes.
the same thing. I have to
Yes.
remind
Yes.
myself a lot of times that
Yes.
focus, get your magnifying glass out, focus on this thing, and then let's get
Yes.
that going. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I like to focus on one main subject.
Mm-hmm.
Get it right. Well, when I say right, let's say 95% right. And then you could focus on your energy on like your second and third product, because the first product is like it's like a foundation. I think if you get the first product right, and obviously the first product will definitely take longer than any other product.
Yeah.
You know, like
Because people
most.
need to get to know who you are, like and trust
Yes,
you, and trust that
yes,
you have a good product and that
product.
you're diligent
Yes,
about
yes,
it and all that. And
yes,
then the next products they will be looking for, what is he going to go now? Right?
yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. It's like Apple. Apple is gonna launch their newest phone next week, Monday, and you know they don't have millions of people lined up, and the phone has not even been launched. So,
I
you know,
know. I know.
it's the power of the brand. It's the power of you know,
Yeah.
it's you know, so that what sells, you know, branding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's interesting that you bring up Apple because my sister and brother-in-law, they end up pre-buying the thing before they ever see it, and they are glued to the
Yes.
TV when they've got the little the thing that they do where they announce all this stuff. They are
Yes.
on there, so
Yes.
that
Yes.
it
The
definitely works for
fanatics.
them.
They are true fans. They are
Yeah,
the true Apple
yeah,
fans.
yeah.
Yes.
Now
Yes.
me, I wait a little bit. It's like I'll get the kinks out a little, and then
Yes.
I'll get
Yes.
it.
Yeah. Look at the reviews and the
Yeah,
features.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
me. That's me.
Yes.
So
That's
when your wife started working with you, you said right after COVID, right?
yes.
Yeah, yeah. So is she like doing part of your marketing? What is she doing? Or is she in the development of the products?
She does. To be honest, I'm not good at technology like all the Zoom and stuff that even we are on. She will set up that. So she deals with Amazon. You know, all
Okay.
logistics on that side. You know, Eh, like all the inventory coming out of China, she would do that logistics and make sure inventory when it reaches it is in the fulfillment centers, etc., etc. So she and any issues that we are having in between, she would deal with that. I am more the one with the ideas and let's do this and I'll do the little like the Instagram and crazy videos I call it, and you know
Yeah.
that's me.
Well, that's cool.
Bold and colorful. Yes, yes, yes. Yes,
So she likes being behind the scenes just a little bit.
yes, 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 yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Plus, she does her own travel consultancy on the sideline
Oh,
because that's
okay.
what she loved
Okay.
doing. You know, so
Yeah,
because
yeah.
in COVID, no one knew where the world was going. So you know, she decided to. You know, I said, you have a choice. We have a business. You know,
Yeah.
so
A lot of
yeah,
people
yes,
switched what they were doing during that
doing
process,
yes,
so it was a great wake up
it,
call for a lot of people that
a lot
realized
of us.
they weren't happy with what they were doing, and this was the perfect time to pivot to something else.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
So it
yes,
had it's the things that came from it. Some of them were good. And like
yes.
us
Some
even being here on Zoom like this before
yes,
COVID, people didn't do this on Zoom in the same way. And
no,
I'm a transformational coach and a hypnotist, and even people that are local to me, we do Zooms now because they don't want to go through the traffic. And before COVID, you didn't really do that. You did all of them in person. So it's definitely opened up
yes,
a
a
whole
whole
new
new
world, right?
world. Yes, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So when you're thinking about your products, and you're still got your brick and mortar store that you're working, right?
Yes, I
So
still
how
do
do
it.
you manage that? Because you said you've got some long hours on that.
Yes, well, loving and enjoying what you do
Mm-hmm.
makes it even easier.
Yeah.
You know, it makes it easier. I try to tie in being in the physical store, but getting in the reps in the e-commerce world. And there's where my wife will come in and she will do the technology part and you know, that kind of stuff. So, and I'll give her the ideas. I'll just take up my phone or my camera and just just do videos or put up a post or some form of marketing, some
Yeah.
form like that. So I think we complement each other in that form. So that's important.
Very cool.
So
Very cool.
yeah, so it's not
So
really a problem with the brick and mortar and e-commerce. It makes life interesting for me.
okay. All right. Well,
Yes, yes,
because I know
yes,
I have a full-time job and my coaching and my hypnosis and everything. And sometimes it's it's a strategic dance to make time for all the things that you have to
Yes,
do. That's kind of why
yes,
I was
yes,
asking, because that's a pretty big time commitment when you're
yes.
looking at that. And there's only 24 hours in a day, no matter how we split them up,
That's
right?
yes, yes, yes. I wish it had more. Yes, I
Yeah.
know.
And you said you always make sure you get your workout in. You do you meditate and all that stuff too? I know you said yoga.
Yeah, a little low. Yes, from time to
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes,
So those are the things that probably help you a lot with being able to manage your time, is because you take the time for yourself, right?
yes, yes, yes,
Yeah. So
yes.
that's a beautiful thing. So everybody that's watching or listening, that if you're not taking time for yourself, you're doing yourself a major disservice. And I will say that that's where
Definitely.
I fall short
Yes,
sometimes,
yes,
because I
yes.
get so busy and I have so many goals of things that I'm doing, that I'll think, oh, I'll do it later, and then later doesn't come. So
It never
I
comes.
know. So that's one
Yes,
of
it
the
never
things that
comes.
I work
Yes,
on all of the time, is
yes,
making
yes.
sure that I take the time to do those things. And I'm not perfect at that by any means,
No.
any stretch of the imagination, you
Yes,
know?
yes. Yes, yes. Sometimes I falter too. So there are those days off that you do nothing much,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
so.
So what is your favorite thing that you've learned through this process of creating this e-commerce store, and after being in this brick and mortar store for a while? And is there one thing that, when you think about it, that comes up, that really lit you up, learning that and creating something else?
Yeah, yes. A lot of things has, because in my brick and mortar, email marketing was not necessary, or posting on Instagram, or I I was absent on Facebook for many years, because social media can be, so like, I would not allow myself to post everything on social media, so
Hmm.
I locked myself out of that. But since coming into the e-commerce, I had no choice, I will say, Facebook, Instagram, and learning about email marketing, and all the other socials that sometimes you touch from time to time. But it has been very transforming as an individual. It has been it's a great learning process. As I said, I love to learn, so it keeps me going. It keeps me. It Before this, it was like, and like before, like, you never really bothered about it much, but now it's like, I will look myself in the mirror while, or sometimes you speak to yourself, and it's like, wow, Neil, you I never thought I could do this and accomplish this and reach this far. So that what keeps me. That's another thing that keeps you going. That
Hmm.
that achievement is there, as long as you give it your best. You're not gonna be you're not gonna get it right the first, the second time, but you're gonna just keep at it,
Yeah.
because so
That's why it's
that
so important to have a group of people around you that are supportive,
yes, yes,
right?
yes, 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 because sometimes you look at people in general and say they accomplished it and they did this, but you got to understand there's a story behind every success. It just did not happen overnight.
Right.
It's the pain, it's the learning, it's the difficulties, it's the disappointments, and it's the sometimes along the way you are threatening your own health, you know because
Yeah.
you stop thinking about yourself or taking care about yourself, like how what you said. Sometimes you get lost in the whole activities of getting things done, that we lose ourselves. So we all do. I am guilty of it too, but yeah, at the end of the day, I always tell myself, as long as you love what you do, you enjoy it.
Yeah.
Although
Yeah.
although there's a balance of good times and bad times, but the good times make up for the bad times.
Right.
And you could, like, sometimes I'll sit and you could smile at yourself and say, yeah, I did it. After thinking
Hmm.
about giving up, or
Yeah.
stopping.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
I
yeah.
kept going. I kept
Yes, I
going.
kept going. It's
Yeah.
it's a beautiful journey, but it's a difficult one, full of
Yeah.
many obstacles.
Yeah, and you know, one of the things that I share with my group and with my clients all the time is, you know, it's the the principle of, you know, people that win, like you mentioned, the lottery, people that win the lottery, 90% of them within 2 years have lost everything, and then
Everything,
they're worse
every
off than they were before
yes,
because it
yes.
was suddenly in their lap and they didn't have any of the growth that came from actually earning it, doing something. And
Mm-mm.
so as business people, as entrepreneurs, or just in life in general, it's all those struggles that we have that create who we are. And it's like I
Yes,
talk about the mosaic life, you know,
yes,
we can look back at so many things in our life and think, oh, I wish that hadn't happened. But if that hadn't happened, would we be here right now? Probably
yes,
not.
no,
And
yes,
so it's that journey, you know, it's gonna have all these bumps and valleys and roller coasters, and it's going to have all of those things, but it's actually the journey part is the fun part, you
yes,
know?
yes, yes,
And sometimes when you get to that destination, you've got this goal set and everything. And when you get there, it's like, oh, that's nice. Now what? You know, because you need to
that's it.
have another goal because you got to keep growing and stretching.
Mhm, mhm, mhm. Yes, because as you said that, like, what's next? It's like so many people just live to retire. Like people who work 9 to 5, they are 50, let's say the retirement age is 60, they just go to work for the next 10 years just to retire,
Yeah.
And I personally, I don't ever want to retire. I want to keep always active and doing something that is worthwhile to me.
Yeah. Me
That's
too.
important. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Retirement is not for me because, and I could go even a little further. Recently, about a month now, I have an aunt who is 90 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and she still reads the papers, cooks for herself, and she could still converse with me, and she's aware of everything at 90. So
Oh, beautiful.
the possibility is endless.
Yeah. Well,
So I think we limit ourselves when we say to ourselves we have to retire this age. So when we reach that age, our mind knows to shut down.
yeah.
That's it. And even I have known many people that after reaching a retirement age, they don't last long. They die just
Well,
six
they
or
lose
nine
their
months.
purpose.
Yes, because they set this limitation.
Mm-hmm.
When you tell your subconscious, so that's something I really think that your mindset and how you think is it's very important. It's part of the
Definitely.
process. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And so I would like to, I'm just curious right now. Are you reading a book?
I am reading many books. I read about
That's
three or
me
four. I
too.
start. That's how I am. Three, and
Yeah.
how I feel like when the day comes, I will read that one, or sometimes I read a couple, like a couple chapters of each.
Yeah.
Depends on the time, but
It
I
seems like
have
most entrepreneurs are that way.
yes,
My
I
bedside table has a stack of books like this.
yes,
And then when
yes,
I go to bed and I'm going to read a little bit before I go to bed, I pick out
yes,
which one do I want, which one feels
yes,
like it's got the message for me now.
yes,
And I'll
yes,
read on
yes,
that one. Yeah.
yes, yes. And I love to read the ones that I have read before.
Oh, yeah. Me
Yeah,
too.
because I have a I this is just what I do. I on the back of any book that I read, I will have a pen or a pencil, and I will note the important pages for me.
Hmm.
So when I pick up one that I read already, I will go through that my own contents, which is the important, and it will familiarize. It comes back to my and then I will say to myself, but I read this already, and I did not understand it because now I'm getting a new perspective.
Hmm. Yeah, I
Yes,
like to
yes,
say that I can reread books that I've just loved. And when I read
yes,
it another time, it's like somebody went and put words in there that I didn't even see before. Cause it's like what we can, what we grasp is what we're able to grasp at the time. So there's
yes.
always stuff in there that when
Mm,
you reread it, it's like, oh, what an
yes,
epiphany, you know?
yes, 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 yes,
Yeah.
yes,
So I
yes,
have lots of books that I have highlighted things and I've got sticky
yes.
notes in them and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes I'll have a piece of paper that I'll write things on and I'll stick it in. And it's
Yes,
funny
yes.
because not too long ago, one of the habits that I have is that when I'm on a Zoom or I'm in a class and somebody mentions a book, I'll think, oh, that sounds amazing. And I'll look it up on Amazon and I'll just order it, right? And so this one time, and this is just a few months ago, somebody mentioned this book and I thought, oh, that sounds amazing. And I looked it up on Amazon and I thought, I must be just remembering what they were showing us because it looks very familiar. I order the book, and then when it gets here, I start to put it up on my shelf, and I already have two more just like it because somebody makes it sound interesting. It's like,
Yes,
oh, I got to get that.
yes,
And
yes,
when you've
yes,
heard about a lot of them, it's like you know you've heard about it, but you don't remember reading it. So
yes.
I ended up donating one of those to one of my friends, and then one went to one of the charity things that I donate to all the time, and I kept the one. So now I'm going to be a little more diligent about going and looking on my shelves to see what I
Yes,
got before I order. But I mean, I've done that with so many times with certain books because it's
yes,
like it's calling my name and I need to get it
yes,
back out and
yes.
read it. And I'm not. So it just, for
Yes.
some reason, I end up ordering it again.
Yes, yes. I love physical books. I don't read
Me
digital
too.
books. I will say to my wife, I love to smell the pages, you know.
Hmm.
I can't listen to a book. I need to sit and, concentrate.
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
Alex Hermosi, he says that the thing that helps you the most is, and I haven't really done this but a couple of times, but you have the physical book in front of you, but you listen to the audio at the same time that you're reading. And so it's touching different parts of your brain. And so that you actually retain more of the information and you learn it faster. So have you ever tried that?
No, I've never tried that.
Yeah. Well, try it.
Yes, yes, I know what you're saying. Yes, I heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I will. I will take your advice. Yes,
Yeah.
I
Some
will
books
take.
I think are just amazing in audio form. One of my favorite books that I've read is The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer, and which is all about mindset and everything. And I've listened to the audio so many times because something about this person who is reading the book, it just calms you and just makes you just want to know more. And I love it. So I'm going to get the physical book and sit and listen to it at the same time that I'm reading it and see how that goes. But something about this person's voice. So sometimes the audio version actually calls my name a little bit more. But I do love having the physical book and being able to take notes in it and underline things and
Yes.
highlight things and do all that stuff. And maybe that's
Yes.
just being old school. I don't know, but I do have some that are on my Kindle, but I like having the book and
Yes.
turning the pages.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Me too. Yes.
Yes. Well, we're getting close to time. So, is there something that you would love to tell our listeners, our watchers? Maybe there's something that you wanted to make sure we talked about before we got on here that I haven't mentioned. So, is there advice, anything that you would like to leave everyone with?
Well, I can leave them with the as an entrepreneur, both physical and presently to e-commerce. It's a long journey. As I said earlier, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. There are many difficulties, many bumps. And you got to take those bumps and those difficulties as learning process, because the journey of entrepreneurship is all about learning. And as you
Mhm.
learn, you will grow. And as you grow, you will expand both mentally in your business, as a person, relationships with others. You will meet new people along the journey, like how we have met. So, Vicky, I will say that, it's a long journey. Enjoy the moment, love what you do, enjoy what you do, and embrace the good times, embrace the difficult times, and make create great relationships with others that even when it's very difficult, you could always lean on these for advice or some sort of push, which will come in handy on this journey. We need, as I said, in life and in the game of life and the game of business, we need each other, and 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 we need each other to grow. We need to grow together, help each other, and 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 you will definitely accomplish whatever your goals are.
Yeah. Perfectly
Yes,
said. I love that. I
yes,
love that.
yes.
And so I want to tell everyone, thank you so much for being here. And that when and let you know, Neil, as well, that once I publish this, I will have in the description, I will have links to all the stuff, how people can connect with you and all of that. So um anybody that wants to connect with Neil will be able to do that very easily. Anyone that wants to connect with me, I'll have my information there as well. And
No
so
problem.
I always love to leave everybody with one of my favorite quotes. And it is, the best way to predict the future is create it. So I love that quote because we are
Yes,
all the time creating, whether we're
yes,
doing it on purpose or it's just happening on its own because we want to do it, on purpose, right?
yes. So true, so true,
Yes.
so true.
Yes.
And I want to say, Vicky,
Hmm.
thank you for having me as your guest this evening. It was a pleasure. I like speaking to you, and the conversation was great and enlightening.
Oh, well,
Thank you again.
thank you. I
Thank
enjoyed
you.
it as well.
Yes,
All
yes.
right, everyone. So I will see you soon. Mwah.